Hi guys, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you're having a great day so far. So let's go ahead and jump into this read here. So I'll remind you guys too, this is going to be a general read, so it may or may not resonate with you. We're going to use these numerology cards first off, so pay attention to the numbers because they might have special meaning for you. Also, at the end of this read, we are going to draw it's a tarot coin. This is going to be like our energy card for the day. So love and spirituality. I can already see in these cards that this is actually going to be the energy of somebody else around you. I do believe there is a message coming forward, and then I pulled the communication card. I feel like somebody has found some sort of new understanding. It does tie into their spirituality. I feel like reflection on the past, somebody from their past. So I feel like this is somebody who you've dealt with in your past, who you had some sort of a connection with. I do feel like there was a parting of ways and not on a positive note. And part of this person finding their spirituality or this spiritual awakening or whatever this is for this person, it gave them new perspective on the connections that they had with people around them. I do feel like it's like someone who they wronged. And I do feel like that regret, sort of looking at things in a new light, personal growth, and that is what I was feeling too in this. So somebody is going through a time where they are genuinely, I'm just gonna say it, they're genuinely getting their shit together. Whoever this was is like starting to gain some sort of a new perspective on things that happened in the past, including their own behavior. And I do believe that love does tie into this. This was a loving connection that you had with this person. At one point in time, this could have even been a romantic partnership. I'm going to grab a few more here. Spiritual partnership. Oh, and that would be part of what this is too. This person looking back now, looking back at this connection that they shared with you, looking back at this relationship that they had, this partnership, I do feel that they believe now that you guys were soulmates. They didn't treat you accordingly at the time. They didn't treat you with the kindness that you deserved. They recognize this now, though. This is part of this personal growth. Somebody's realizing that they actually could have had this deep connection, this lifelong connection with you. They could have built on this spiritual partnership, on this soulmate connection. But they chose to move in a different way. They chose to move in a way that was, I do feel like it was a little bit more selfish. Whatever it was, this follow your dreams does apply to that. This is not like, let's go follow our dreams, let's go build our career, whatever this was this person doing something selfish, following something that they thought was going to bring them abundance, but it was like an exclusive abundance. So there was no consideration given to you, to your emotional needs, to the partnership and the connection, to the detrimental effect that would have on it if they pursued whatever this was. I'm going to grab a few more here. I do believe part of this change in their life, this personal growth, it is going to tie into their financial situation. I don't know that it's like this extreme hardship that made them see the light. I do believe that they are going through a personal growth time. It ties into their spirituality. It ties into their finances. It ties into deep within an emotional growth and understanding and maturity. They are starting to see that they had good connections. They're starting to see that they had a lot to be grateful for and that they took for granted. And you are part of that. This person is going to have to come to grips with what happened in the past. So this is an acceptance that their behavior was probably the determining factor in what caused this relationship to part ways. I do have that distinct impression this was part of their choice, or their choices that caused this relationship to come to an end. It's like an acceptance that they can't change the past. It just is what it is. I do also feel that this tie is severed. Whatever happened between you and this person in the past, it's like this relationship is not something that you would want to revisit. Even if they wanted to make amends, they wanted to try and make things right, I feel like it's severed, it's done, it's over with. And this is something this person is going to have to accept too, that they had this connection that they took for granted. And there is now nothing they can do to fix what has been done, to fix the damage that's been done. This person is finding personal growth, though. I do feel this in the bearing fruit card. This is a time where they're starting to turn. They're starting to find positivity in their life. They're starting to gain perspective on what really matters to them, you know, what their core values are. I do believe having positive connections in their life is part of those core values. They had to learn the hard way, though. They had to learn a very hard lesson in this relationship with you, this connection that they had with you coming to an end, because you would have been one of these positive connections that would have carried through, you know, their entire life. This is something that you put the effort into. I do believe it was like an understanding that this is what was going on, and then they deviated from that. They chose a different path. They brought a lot of heartache on, and they caused this to come to an end. It took, and I do believe that this isn't fresh. This happened a while ago. It took time for this person to have this revelation. It took time for this person to find this aha moment, to find some sort of personal growth. Waking the Lion is all about empowerment and taking back control. That's also taking ownership of your choices. And I do believe this is something that they're doing. I almost wonder if this person hasn't found faith or religion. Oh, or recovery. One of the 12 steps, and maybe making amends and recognizing what they did in the past. I do believe spirituality has something to do with it. It's a level of spirituality that did not exist before. This is something that somebody is now welcoming into their life, and it is bringing about a big change of perspective for them too. Not saying this person is a saint, guys. Keep that in mind. We all make mistakes. We're all human. This person is just actually been able to step back and recognize those mistakes and recognize there is now a need to change, and that they are in control of their behavior and their choices. To me, that does tie into this Beyond the Ordinary card. It gives this person the opportunity to change the direction that their life has been going in, and to change the direction it goes in from here on in, and the connections that they have with other people. But they are definitely mourning a loss of a relationship and a connection with you. This is something they're struggling to let go of. When they look at you, when they think about you, they still have like this tender embrace. This is how they feel about it. It's like that soulmate connection, somebody who they could count on. There is love when they think about you. But it's like that is over. As far as you're concerned, that is completely over. And I feel that in the cards. This has been severed. That bridge has been burned. We're not going back there. So this is something that they need to accept. It's something that they need to let go of. It's something they need to be able to make peace with in their life. For them, this change that they made, this finding faith, this empowerment, let's just say it right, getting their shit together. It is a powerful move. This is a life-changing move for this person. I do see that we're going to start moving in a more positive way, whoever this is. Finding a lot of positivity in their life. Part of this is, see, this person is, they've either found religion, are going to some form of like a 12-step type program, or they are going to some kind of counseling or therapy, this person, because I do have this broken open card. This is this distinct impression that I get that this person is being encouraged to completely open up and examine their emotions, their past, everything from their past. You have the Spirit of Gratitude card, and I get pulled back to this great and full. This is like recognizing the positive things that this person has in their life, like those blessings, and then being able to nurture that, whatever that is. If that's connections with other people, being able to nurture those connections instead of shit on them like they did before, right? Or acting in a selfish way that caused these connections to come apart. This is part of this broken open, is being able to recognize that, being able to recognize the positivity that they do have around them. Being able to hear, and I do feel like it's hear criticism. I do feel like this is part of their process, being able to open up, to say what they're thinking, say what they're feeling, to hear feedback from other people, and to carefully consider it. It's a time of vulnerability for this person. Because if this person has had And I do believe this has driven some of their behavior. It's like a fear of vulnerability, a fear of being open, and probably stemming from a fear of rejection, ultimately. And I have almost had this barrier. I see the words like hurt them before they hurt me kind of thing. And this might have been with their relationships in the past too, that this person was always the first one to sort of cause some sort of a calamity or to leave or to jump out of it. And it was sort of like escaping before somebody left them and they'd have to deal with the hurt. It's a level of walling themselves off that they can no longer do now if they truly want to find healing and truly want to move forward. And this is what they're being told in whatever this help that they're getting. This is part of their process. They need to unlock their heart and they need to be exposed. They need to find that level of vulnerability. I feel like praying and meditating is also part of this person's journey with this quieting the mind. This person is going through a pretty big life change, whoever they are. And I'm going to say it too. This person is genuinely putting in the work to change. So it's not easy to do. You know, we're all human. We all make mistakes. This person is genuinely trying to change. This person is finding some sort of a genuine understanding of what their behavior did to the others around them. And trying to find some way to make amends, trying to find some way to live with it, trying to find some way to accept how this went for them. In the past, they definitely did not want to take responsibility. I feel like they were always running from it. They were running from other people. They were running from personal truths so that their behavior caused a certain situation to happen. They didn't want to admit that. They didn't want to deal with the negative feelings that it caused with somebody else. So if they did some sort of an action that really, truly emotionally hurt somebody, they would never give that person the chance to be able to tell them that because they didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want to deal with the emotion. They didn't know how to deal with it. And that's part of it too, is this person just did not have the freaking skills. Did not have the skills to deal with their emotions, let alone somebody else's emotions. And it's like this fear. I keep feeling like this fear of rejection, this fear of ridicule, this fear of judgment. It might have been stuff that happened earlier in their life too that sort of set the tone for this. But this is how they lived for quite a while. This is how they lived for quite a while, sort of trapped themselves. It's like a mind trap is what they sort of had themselves in and trying to avoid all kinds of emotion. And I do believe that these two cards are speaking to both your energies. I believe the Queen of Cups is speaking more to your energy. Cups is about emotions. So somebody who wanted to have an emotional connection, somebody who was emotionally pushed away. I do feel like somebody made the relationship a little bit more physical. This might have been their energy because they literally did not know how to have an emotional relationship with someone. I feel like they still don't. Like they're learning to deal with everything. They're learning to get their shit together. They're learning to open up and talk about their feelings and be vulnerable. And they are making progress, but it is a learning process. And at the point in time when the two of you were connected, they did not have these skills. They were incapable of doing this. And the only thing that helped them back, see, and they had these wishes, they had this dream. It's not like they necessarily didn't want to have this life with somebody. They just didn't know how. They stood in their own way of having this wish fulfillment, having this happy life, having this soulmate connection, this deep, caring, loving connection with somebody who they could trust. They stood in their own way. They had that opportunity. You gave them that opportunity. And I feel like there were chances. I see the word chances. So it wasn't just like one big thing that brought it to an end. I feel like there were things along the way. And you sort of, you cared for them. So you kept giving them chances. Like maybe this person can grow. Maybe this person can change. Maybe this person will gain some sort of insight or have an aha moment. And I feel like you put in and put in and put in. And it just got to a point where that wasn't going to change or some big event happened. and you had had enough at that point. That was the end of it. You saw that this person was not going to change. This person was not going to grow. They were not going to evolve. And there was no point in you in sitting in it and putting that effort in when you weren't going to get it back. And they had a good partner in you. I do believe now they see that. I do believe now that this person actually recognizes what they pushed away, what they could have had. They could have had this wish fulfillment, but it was all of their baggage, their fears, their doubts, their insecurities, all of this caging of their heart that pushed somebody away. And this emotional offering too, and I feel different things in both of these cards. I feel like there may be children as well that this person has pushed away. Whether it's with you or with somebody else, I do feel they've detached themselves from children. I keep seeing the word children. So I do feel like this is actually a part of their life, and it's part of what they were running from, not taking responsibility for, not making a connection with. But again, this is because of their own baggage. This is because this person has no idea how to connect with people on an emotional level. And it's like people kept bringing emotional offerings forward, right? People would want to have relationships with them. People would want to emotionally invest in them. People want to emotionally connect with them. And they just didn't know how to do it. They kept rejecting and pushing people away. I do believe they're hiding from personal truth. It's like they had this inability to be able to recognize why they were doing this behavior, what their real fears were, what their real doubts or insecurities were. It was just like this level of uncomfortableness that they didn't know how to really put into words. Do you feel like that's part of what they're learning too in this new process? Whether it's, like I said, whether it's therapy, whether it's some sort of AA type group, whatever this is, that, or a spiritual type group, you know, like one-on-one counseling or with a priest or whatever. I do believe that this is something that they're learning to do now, sort of step back and analyze their own emotions. Because I feel like they were just rash. They would just react before. They would react. They never put any deep thought into why they were reacting or why they felt a certain way. I do feel like a lot of it had to do with the way that they grew up and things that happened in the past that they never healed from or recognized. It was kind of like buried, forgotten. This person really didn't learn the skills of how to deal with emotions, how to deal with emotional things or connections with other people. Like I said, though, this is changing, and this is a change that they chose to make for themselves. They chose to forge a new path. This person gave a lot of thought to what wealth means to them and what sort of a legacy they want to build in their life. This is a level of insight that not everybody gets. Not everybody is capable of finding. Some people just never find it, but this person actually was able to find it. They were able to see that they weren't having this even give and take with others. It's like they felt like they had nothing to give, or they just hid themselves and would not give. It was like this way of protecting their heart, protecting themselves, and not giving to others. They hurt a lot of people in the past too, and a lot of relationships. Not just like random people. I do feel like it's like romantic connections, like one-on-one connections. They hurt a lot of people in their past. A lot of these people who tried to form partnerships with them. A lot of people who wanted to build emotional connections with them, and they just couldn't handle their emotions. They didn't know how to make that emotional connection. And now they are mourning the loss of this Empress energy, because that's what they're going to see you as. This is what they see you as, this divine energy that they could have had a soulmate connection with. As this is where their deep regret lies. I do believe they regret a lot of other things in the past, a lot of other relationships that they have, but because you watch tarot, this energy is coming forward so that you get this message. You are their biggest regret. What happened with you is the biggest regret, and they are struggling to come to terms with that this is something that they caused, that they pushed you out of their life, and that I do believe they know on some level that that's not going to be something that you're willing to revisit, that you have moved on with your life. You are not allowing what happened with them to hold you back from moving on in your journey. but it is something that where they are in their journey, this is something that they're dealing with. This is a big part of what they're dealing with right now. And until they sort through that, they can't move on to the next step too. Oh, and they are, I'm going to say it in the cards, this person is probably going to reach out to you. And I do, like I said, I know that they know on some level that this is not going to fly. This is not going to become a relationship again. This is not going to be amended and everything's going to be tickety-boo. That's not it. This person has like this need to speak their truth, to make amends, to attempt to make amends with you. This is part of them coming into their emperor energy. And when I say that, it's like moving into their more successful self. So wanting to heal, wanting to be a better person, wanting to move in a more positive, honest way in this life. This is part of their new chapter. And they are making this effort to be able to change. And I do believe part of that is reaching out to you, is speaking their truth, is apologizing for the heartache, is saying, I recognize that I made this choice and I chose this path and I brought this heartache on both of us. I do believe there's an apology in here coming your way. And that is what this offering is. That is what this offering is that they're going to bring forward. This isn't going to be money. The pentacles can represent learning as well. This is like, I think they're going to tell you, like, I'm doing this, whatever this is, this therapy is that they're doing. I think they're going to tell you all about it. And they're going to be like, I'm doing this. I recognize this now. I couldn't see it then. I can see it now. I'm trying to change and be a better person. And part of that is telling you that I recognize that this was my fault. I recognize that I hurt you. And I am sorry. I am deeply regretful about what I did. And they're trying to change. This person is trying to start a new beginning. They are trying to get more enlightened. They are trying to move forward in a more positive way in life. A part of that for them, for setting that solid foundation for the future, is not hiding anymore, not hiding themselves, not hiding their heart, their feeling, their thoughts, not keeping secrets, and not walling themselves off. This is a time for them to be open, to delve into their subconscious and these things that have been holding them back, to lay them out raw and examine them so that they can find clarity and move forward. Like I said, like this person is making an effort. Whoever this is actually genuinely making an effort to find positive change in their life. And part of that is going to be reaching out to make amends for whatever it's worth. So we are going to, and we grabbed the blank coin. There is a blank coin in that group. It is like destiny. It is the unknown. This person's future, their path is still not written. There's got to be a lot of elements still that need to come forward or come into play. A lot of moving parts. And this person's decisions are their own. They're going to determine what this person's path is in life, whether they slip up back into their own ways or whether they hold true and hold fast to this new way of being. But their destiny, this person's destiny, is still unwritten. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that read. If you did enjoy it, if you found value in it, please hit that like, that subscribe. It helps these messages to get out there. Have a great day, guys. Take care.